Hi, I'm Paris, and for the first time in 3 days here in Austin, we can see the sun. Still really windy out, but the weather is definitely improving. Sadly, not the case in Houston. It is really bad there, as I'm sure you've seen on TV, and some people we're in contact with on social media have let us know they're definitely in need of quite a bit of help. We're just 150 miles from Houston here in Austin, and it's kind of frustrating to not know what we can do to help. What's the most efficient and effective way to help the people there in need? So if you've been feeling the same way watching this disaster on TV, I found a resource that's very good that offers you different ways to help depending on your particular interest, whether it's animals, kids, food, and depending on where you are, ways that you can offer help. I'll link to the website, Texas Tribune. It's texastribune.org. I'll link to it down below this video, and I'll briefly give you a synopsis of some really nice ways you could help out.
Epic Review Guys.
If you're in Houston and can volunteer directly, there are phone numbers and websites where you can go to find out more about that on this site. If you live outside of Houston but you live in Texas, there are some fairly direct things you can do to help. One is to give blood. There are a couple blood banks mentioned on the website where if you give blood, they will make sure that that blood gets to the disaster areas so they don't run out there. And another thing you may see the next time you go to the local supermarket is H-E-B. If you're not in Texas, you may not know H-E-B, but that's our big supermarket chain throughout the state. They're collecting donations right now for Hurricane Harvey relief with these little tear-off strips of paper they have at the register. They do this year-round for the food bank. You can give $1, $3, $5, and so forth. And so if you tear that off and hand it to the cashier while you're buying your food, they'll make sure that that money goes to the Red Cross, Salvation Army, Feeding Texas to provide food and other supplies for people in the disaster area. The sound in the background is some wood chippers. We've had a lot of branches that have come down in the neighborhood, so they're going through and clearing up all the brush right now. Now, if you're outside of Texas or even outside of the United States, you can still offer help in a fairly personalized way. Of course, there's general organizations that are always helping out in disasters, like the Red Cross. You can give to the Red Cross in general, or usually on their website you can specify, if there's been a recent disaster, you can specify you want your donation to go and help with that disaster. Now, if your heartstrings are particularly touched when you're watching TV coverage about the animals that were left behind or abandoned or separated from their owners, you can donate to the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the SPCA.org. You can make cash donations, or you can volunteer to foster a pet where you'll keep a displaced pet with you until the family is finally found and they can be reunited. If watching the TV coverage of the people carrying the kids out through the floodwaters, you think, how are they going to take care of those babies now? Well, there's Texas Diaper Bank. It's an organization that provides diapers and baby supplies to people with young children. That's at texasdiaperbank.org, which I'll link to down below this video, and is also on the Texas Tribune page. And you may have heard about fundraising started by J.J. Watt, a football player on the Houston Texans who was playing out of Houston at the time and couldn't get back into the city and was frustrated thinking, what can I do to help everyone back home in that community, and came up with the idea of starting a fundraising campaign where he gave $100,000 and would match donations. Now other people have given quite a bit of money. It's over $500,000 that's been raised to give to different organizations there in Houston. That's the J.J. Watt Flood Relief Fund. You can find it at YouCaring, youcaring.org. I'll also link to that below the video. And if you don't have a computer handy, you don't want to put your credit card information online, you can very easily give something right now with your phone. You can simply text Harvey, H-A-R-V-E-Y, to 90999, and that will give $10 to the Red Cross. That charge will show up on your next month's cell phone bill. It's a pretty painless way to give something, and for the people who need it, a lot of people giving a little something adds up to a way for them to get through the next few weeks, even the next few months, because there are going to be a lot of people who don't have a place to go home to for quite a while. Now, that's not all. It's just a sampling of the ways you can give something to help out people in Houston and the Gulf Coast affected by Hurricane Harvey. And I don't know about you, but it makes me feel better to find a way that I can do something to help. So if you're looking for a way to help, there's a bunch of them. Check out texastribune.org, linked to right down below this video. I'll be back tomorrow with more regularly scheduled review. I'll see you then. Thanks so much.